Welcome to Not a Great Whisper podcast. This is your host, Katy Rey, coming to you from my home because we are still in quarantine. I am doing something different. I am doing a book review today for Untamed by Glennon Doyle. So I can't say enough about this amazing woman. I read her Carry On Warrior, which was amazing, Love Warrior, which was my favorite until I read Untamed. It brought out a fire in me. When you say empowering, this book is empowering. But what makes it great, what makes her great as a writer, is really when people can put readers' feelings literally into words. This, of course, is not intentional because she's just describing how she feels and what she learned. But when it relates to people in so many different aspects of their life, and I can't wait to do a book review because I love all the books she made, but now I'm a fucking book reviewer. I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to review the shit out of this book. I'm going to tell you how I relate to it and things that won't really happen to you after you read it, but you think they will. It's going to be a great episode. So I know for me, Glennon Doyle is a little bit like a prophet. She always calls her daughter Tish a prophet, but out of all the labels she talks about, I relate to so many of them, and I've experienced so many of them. So one of them being a child of divorce. I felt the world was falling apart, just like she describes how her children were feeling when her and her husband broke up. And everything she had feared, I had felt. But of course, coming into an amazing blended family now, there's so much joy it brings me. But during that time as a child of divorce, it was a lot. And she brings that up. And one of those labels is, it's just very much like the things I went through. And then as a God-loving woman, as myself, I question the church all the time, just like she did. And I hate the hate they have for others. And I can't stand their beliefs because it doesn't come from the heart. It just comes from this written book by a bunch of white men at a time where they were just writing down stories and people take that as literal. And it's really like, what's in your heart? Who do you love? She helps me remember that my feelings for the church and how much I don't approve of not welcoming everybody isn't wrong. And to keep speaking up because your voice can help somebody change. It goes into some of my favorite quotes by her we'll go over. And really just talking about things and educating people. And sometimes people just don't know. I am a very strong protector of the LGBTQ plus community. And that comes from my dad coming out after 25 years of marriage with my mom, but he came out to live his full truth. And I am a product of that blended family that Glennon was so scared of when she would live her truth. And I think seeing him and celebrating him for who he is so important. And she describes that so well that it's not, I'll love you no matter what, saying if you do come out, I'll love you. It's not a problem that you came out. It's more of let's celebrate you. I'm so glad this is a part of your life. Let's celebrate this. Glennon Doyle describes that so fucking well. And for my whole life, I get very defensive if someone has something wrong, says something negative, the gay community. I get nasty instead of educating like she does and puts it into words where it just brings so much, gosh, I don't even know the word. It just calms me and makes me realize, yes, I can approach people without getting mad or saying you're a hateful person. It's really just teaching them that we're all humans. And I am a believer everyone should be able to walk around in their truth and not be judged. And she is pushing that throughout this whole book. That your knowing, which I take as your gut, will tell you where to go. We'll tell you the right answer. We'll bring you to your purpose. We'll help you understand where you should be and to never abandon yourself. And I mean, I'm almost 35. And I realize now how important it is to put yourself first, even being a mom. So I am a survivor also of infidelity, as she was with her husband. I think my husband's betrayal broke me, and I grieved it hard, and I find myself still grieving after 2 years. But I am picking up the pieces like she talks about. And when you pick up the pieces, it changes you. It changes who you are. She talks about grief and how everyone grieves. And although she connected with so many people through her pain, that this book really shows triumph, and some people are not going to connect with it, but she's going to keep going. Statistically, women are less as accepted when they are happy and confident and vocal as men are. Everyone's like, oh, that guy's really strong and smart, but that girl seems really too confident, or blah, blah, blah. That's stupid. I mean, that's so dumb. I love how she brought that into effect into the book. Like, come on, people, get your shit together. And one of my most important labels she brings up is just being a mother. She's a mother of 3, as I am. She puts the feelings I always feel, like, stop shaming each other. You're doing the right thing no matter what. I mean, your kids are going to suffer. Not suffer extremely hard, but they're going to go through stuff. You can't just hand them shit and expect them to be good humans. Like, they have to fight for what they need. I need to put all of my happiness aside to give these kids what people call normal? No, hell no. Am I going to fuck shit up sometimes? Yeah, for sure. Is my life insane and beautiful? Yes. A happy, brave mother is better than one that conforms to what society says. And with all these labels she talks about, I can't even start describing things the way she does. She literally puts you in that moment, talking about racism, what we've learned, and owning it, and just moving towards changing that in your body to not say, oh, I'm not a racist. No, we have been taught racist things throughout our lives, and we need to push to change that about us. And we need to own it and say, this has happened. How do we change it? And to stop talking about it and doing it. I was so empowered. I wrote notes on this book. Who the fuck writes notes? I did. I'm on a treadmill in my phone, putting in the time. I do Audible because who has time to open a book up? I can put a headphone in while my kids are watching TV and listen to my book. Amazing. But who the fuck has time to write notes? I made time, put it in my notes, put the times where I heard the most powerful statements being described by her, because she is the one who reads the Audible, which makes it that much better. But I can't even tell you that I feel different after this book. I don't even know how to explain it like she would be able to. I feel that owning my feelings, anger is coming from somewhere. Why do I get angry sometimes? I don't know. Am I going to apologize for it? No. Am I going to figure out what is really making me angry? Sure. Now I am, because it really does have to do with me. And my gut, I already learned this a couple of years ago, like, go with your gut. What are you feeling? Stop always second guessing yourself. Fuck off for the people who want to judge you. They are just not living they're just not living their truth. And a lot of her feelings of when she came out, when she married her now wife, Abby, was, if my mom doesn't accept it, I'm worrying about everyone else's opinions. And then she just owned it and said, you know what, Mom, I don't want you bringing your fear into my family right now. Let me know when you accept us, because I would like you to come be with the family. So really just sticking up for yourself, because you don't have to please anybody but yourself. She talks about anxiety, which I have a ton of. She talks about her medicine, which she needs. I think if you want something that not only uplifts you, but brings real 100% real talk to your mind, your body, it just makes you feel good and makes you realize everything that people say to do is not going to work for you. You have to know. You have to figure out if sitting in a dark closet will get you the answers you need, or if going to yoga is going to get you what you need. And you have to sit in the pain and you have to suffer through it to really come out stronger. And I've been doing that, but to a point. So she really opened my eyes to a lot. And being quarantined, I mean, my husband probably hates me right now because I'm just like in my feelings. I'm owning it. I am pushing forward, understanding what these feelings are. And fuck, I've been in quarantine for 2 months. I have an infant, so I ain't going nowhere. So I think she just came at a perfect time. I think at any time you read this book, it's a perfect time. But I do want to make sure people know what's not going to happen to you after this book. Just to make sure that people know that every person that reads this is not going to do the work to fight for their beliefs that we believe in. We're going to sometimes just not say anything when someone says something that doesn't agree with us. Not everybody's going to do it. Not every person that reads this book is going to find a 2-time Olympic gold medalist soccer player, badass woman as their second marriage. Because when you leave your spouse, not everyone will find Abby. So be smart. Be smart with what your next choices are. Because at some points I was like, I need to find a woman. I mean, my husband probably wouldn't be happy with that, but she made it sound absolutely beautiful. And everything they share, and it's hard stuff, everything they share is absolutely beautiful. So you're like, I gotta go. I gotta fucking go. I gotta find my 2-time Olympic gold medalist soccer player, badass woman who's going to be my bonus mom to my kids and just live our life together, happy, free on the beach in Naples. It's not going to happen. So don't, please. I mean, something great will happen, but that specifically will not happen. And not everyone that reads this book can put their feelings into words like this. So you could feel it like I do and feel like I should write a book. No, I'm not going to fucking write a book and it be as good as this. I mean, I can write a good book, but I'm saying specifically to these specific subjects, she wrote it all in one book. I'd be actually plagiarizing if I started writing my book. She was able to put those feelings into words on paper and it come out beautiful. Other things to learn: do not abandon yourself. You will always have work to do. Absolutely nobody is perfect. Trusting your knowing, which I consider my gut. So hopefully she listens to this and can confirm that. We can do hard things and we're goddamn cheetahs. And I also think, going kind of back, when she talks about being a really good friend and how she hates why do people call her on the phone and things, she's owning things where now people are getting ghosted. She's just owning it, letting you know, be upfront. Tell your tribe how you act and what you're going to do, and surround yourself with people who understand that and understand what really motivates you, because I think everyone after this should donate to Together Rising. Her group of badass women who go out and they partner with people who do the work out there to help families reconnect, or helping people through the coronavirus right now, helping families who have been separated at the border. Everything she's doing is from her heart and what she knows makes her happy. And when she talked about purpose and the things that really get you going and the things that you know that you want to change, you just haven't, that is what you have to put work into. And I know mine has to do with kids somehow, because every time I hear an article that rips my heart out, I know like I want to help kids more. So she also made me think about that. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to focus on what I can do to help the community. It's little things this book does that really lights a fire under your ass. And I think everybody should read it. Everyone should listen to it, male or female. I think for a male's perspective, it's good to understand. She even brings up how boys have been dealt shitty hands as well. We expect them to be these masculine, what is masculine, right? But we expect them to not have feelings, We give them images of just, boys are boys will be boys. And we just haven't done right by them as well. And I feel like everything in this book can relate to someone. So everyone should read it, everyone in the world. Hopefully after this, I can reach out to her, since we're best friends in my head, and get everybody a book so that you can read it, or you can just use my Audible. I think things to remember: your life will not end up exactly like hers as a best-selling author, but you can still be fulfilled. You can still not conform to society norms. And to be honest, we're going through quarantine. What is our new norm? What is your new norm? Be excited to move forward. Nothing about this quarantine is nice because people are dying, but what you can do is move forward and make your new normal, make yourself happy, not worry about the labels, fuck all the labels. But I do think the fact that she brings up topics we all should be thinking about regularly, and that you have to put the work in, is the most important thing about this book. Is some of these little quotes here. Being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. You'll never change the fact that being human is hard. So you must change your idea that it was ever supposed to be easy. Boom. Nailed it. Life. At ya. Read the fucking book. Being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. Blessed are those brave enough to make things awkward, for they wake us up and move us forward. She talks about an older woman at one of her book tours talking about how she's now gay with Abby, and why is the whole world gay now, and what's going on. And they make light of that question and joke about it. And Glennon Doyle is able to speak to this woman where it changes her, it opens her mind up. That's where that comes from. And that is so important, especially because a person who is such a believer of letting people be who they want to be, as long as they are happy and not murdering the world, right? Be who they want to be and teaching others. So I want more awkward questions now. I want people to bring up their beliefs so that I can educate them on how people should be able to be happy and not judged. When women lose themselves, the world loses its way. We do not need more selfless women. What we need right now is more women who have detoxed themselves so completely from the world's expectations that they are full of nothing but themselves. What we need are women who are full of themselves. A woman who is full of herself knows and trusts herself enough to say and do what must be done. She lets the rest burn. And that goes into women always quieting down, women always like, oh, I'm not going to bring up my opinion. I don't want people to judge me as being too loud, or I am loud. I am excited to be who I am. And it's just another quote: when a woman finally learns that pleasing the world is impossible, she becomes free to learn how to please herself. It's all about you trusting yourself. You can do it. Be nice to yourself, right? Another one: the truest, most beautiful life never promises to be an easy one. We need to let go of the lie it's supposed to be. So I hope I brought some knowledge to you today. In quarantine, being with myself so often, this book really helped me just visualize where I want to be when I do pick up all those pieces, and where I am today, and I'm thankful for it. Yes, we're going to have rough days. Fuck yeah. It's just a normal thing, but do something that helps you kind of bring a little bit of spark in you. And this book did. And I might just read it again if I can't find another one that does it for me, because it really did bring up a lot of topics we all should be thinking about, and we all should be moving forward doing together to change. So I hope you read this book. I like doing fucking book reviews. I'm going to become a book reviewer. Probably not, but I think that Untamed by Glennon Doyle should be read by everyone, but of course with realistic goals when reading it. Don't forget my things that might not happen to you after you read the book, because you need to be realistic for yourself. But I do think that this is a great little stocking stuffer, for Christmas next year when we finally get to see each other. And I hope that you have questions after this. I would love to answer any, or you just want to have like a book club meeting. I don't know, on Zoom, maybe. But I appreciate you listening. This is Not a Great Whisperer podcast with yours truly, Katy Rey. At The Real K Ray, at Not a Great Whisper on Instagram. We are at katyray.com. We are still recording with BKN Creative because they're amazing, not physically in the studio, but with them. You might hear my kids screaming in the background this episode. That's cool, owning it. And I appreciate you listening. Subscribe, rate, review on all major podcast platforms. Peace out, and I hope we can all get to some type of new normal for everybody. Thanks.